Greetings and welcome, brave citizens of our new world. I am Toronto's greatest supervillain and evil genius, Dr. Terawatt. This is our Layer 3.0, and today is day 10 of our VEDA challenge. VEDA, vlogging every day in April. And I have here with me Hespel, our fun and fantastical guest. It's Luke. Luke. Hey Doc, in your new world, built almost solely on technology, would you have a technological superhero/supervillain school similar to that of Hogwarts, or the School for Good and Evil? Perhaps call it Dr. Terawatt's School for the Technologically Inclined. I really like that idea. I think that that would be super cool, being as I feel like a lot of society just in general is based around technology. Having an institute that encourages and what's the word I'm looking for? Uplifts? Just like in moderation. I think that would be a very good idea, yes. Yeah, I don't know what that is. So wood mask. So Doc, how is your day right now?
I wanted to ask. So Doc, how is your day right now?
Pretty good.
It's pretty good. That was a good day.
Wanna go on an adventure?
I'll go bust different adventures.
So Doc, I'm the henchman to a particular mutant, I'll say Meta. He is the first of a breed of predatory humans and shares a lot of your views on the world. His question is, would your world be safer for a different race of beings to live in, even if they pose a threat to other non-predators? Yes and no. Because, I mean, it's yes that I would... I don't have a problem with, like, other humans or other species living among humans, but if they're a threat to people, then they can't be here. Like, I don't care who you are. If you're a threat to people, you're not allowed to be a part of society.
I'm wondering what your opinion is of two groups of happy giggling troublemakers, the Discordians and the Church of the Subgenius. They seem like intensely and wonderfully weird mutants, and, truth be told, I'm proud to be both Praise Bob and Hail Eris. What do you think of these two groups?
I have no idea what these two groups are.
Me neither.
I don't know. I guess I'll like Google them at some point, maybe if I have the time to look up weird churches of chaos. Don't mock me. But of sheer curiosity, how did you come into contact with the Terrible Warriors? I believe it was Mike Dodd, who I was doing conventions with, and who I was... Yeah, we were doing conventions and stuff. He was in the Famicom and Rider video at one point, and then someone was like, him and Big Mike from the 404s, who we ran into each other a lot at cons because he did a lot of the same events and conventions that I did. So what it boiled down to was they needed an extra person to fill a seat on one of their shows. I happened to be available, and I ended up on their King Arthur's Court game that they ran. And it's been madness ever since.
What is your opinion on people who believe the Earth is flat in this day and age?
Yeah.
Next question.
Well, here's the thing. No matter... Because I want to say that it's a failing of the education system. I do. But that's not the case. What it's a result of is that ignorance and misinformation will always be, no matter how good your education system is, no matter how good and clean your reporting and news system is, it doesn't matter. Like, willful ignorance will always be a part of society. Yeah. That will always be a thing that will exist. You can't stamp it out fast enough, but it's a thing that will always happen. Flat earthers, you piece of shit. Anyway, will you be dedicating resources to fighting global warming and or carbon emissions so that we have a planet to live on and explore? No, Joseph, I thought that I would just let that run rampant and wildly out of control so that the world I owned was a desert. No, obviously, I'm going to be putting a significant amount of resources into repairing the O3 patches in our solar system, or our ozone layer rather, as well as switching everybody over to electric production, like production of electricity will be significantly cleaner. Electric cars, the whole shebang.
You're so sassy.
Yeah. Well, because this is stuff that we could do yesterday, but no, it's not going to make enough money for certain people, so can't do it. Nope. Can't have Dad.
Dear Doc, will you regulate artists and the media they create, book, movies, TV, etc., when you rule the world?
So will I monitor the media?
Yeah, censorship, all that.
Here's the thing, even the media that we possess in Canada is censored. I'm not going to say something like I'm not going to censor media. I believe that a free media is good for a country because comedians allowed to make jokes about the people who run their country, I think, is so integral and healthy for that country. for them to hold up a mirror to themselves and laugh at the silly things that their leaders are doing or for the things that they don't understand. But at the same time, I'm not going to say absolutely everyone can say whatever they want, because hate speech is a thing, and you can't just have people just going up on the internet anywhere, or not on the internet, but on television and on the radio when people are watching TV and scream things like "P fart, Dodd."
If you were to
Wait, no, you read the last one, right?
Yep.
Okay. If you were ever to throw your own convention, what would it be themed around? Video games, mad science, etc.? Oh man, supervillains, mad science, and video games, because I love all of those things. But definitely supervillains and mad science would be the first up in front. I think we would call it like Villain Con or something like that.
Yeah. Where would it be?
Definitely in Toronto, because it's my hometown, and it's an easier place for a lot of people in Canada to get to. If we could find, like, I want to start off in Toronto because it's got large enough venues. It might be a bit pricey, but I want to start off in the city because it's my city, and I want to do a show there. If we get lots of people coming out to it, then I want us to, like, move on down to a place in the States that have just ultimately better facilities.
Doctor.
I love Canada, don't get me wrong, but the biggest and best convention centers that we have in Ontario pale in comparison to the places that they have in the States.
San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I'll understand if you want to save this question for the VEDA episode with Ace in it. Oh. Will there ever be an evil mealtime too?
Definitely. I gotta find some other wacky thing for him. Actually, no, I don't have to find another wacky thing for him to cook. I need to put him in a kitchen with a bunch of random ingredients, and then he'll cook a wacky thing. Yes. The bacon Bertangos that we did for Evil Mealtime a long time ago was not my idea. Yes, I do hope that you are invited to Con Bravo, even though I'll be table locked if my application to the Artist's Alley is approved, making it harder for me to come chat. It's always good to have you invade my fair city. It's always good to be out in Hamilton. Every time I say Hamilton, though, I think of Hamilton Pig, the OCD little pig person from Maggie and the Ferocious Beast. Flies around in a cardboard box. Every time someone's like, hey, where's Con Bravo? They're like, oh, it's in Hamilton. And I go, Hamilton! Like, every time, and no one gets it, and everyone gives me weird looks. Anyway, a while back, you had started a comic. I do know all about the reasons it stopped, so I don't need to share details. But I was wondering if in the near to eventual future, you will be revisiting the concept under your new name. If I could find, like, an artist willing to do it for half of our profits, then sure. Like, I don't have a lot of money up front to just throw, like, $6,000 at someone to make an issue. Like, what was it? Marvel rates, $600 per panel per page was what some of the artists that I was trying to get on board with the project were asking for. And I was like, I don't have that kind of money, so I'm going to be doing this until I either A, win the lottery, or B, find a really talented artist that can keep a schedule and is willing to do this.
Dr. T. Do you like people calling you that?
Not really.
Do you know where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego?
Is it you?
Is it me?
Are you Carmen Sandiego?
I have a red coat.
Is it you? Then yes, it's right here. In your new world, what sorts of things would you ban outright? Like weapons, drugs, or half-assed tech support? You mean tech support? Definitely firearms and automatic weapons and things like that. Just firearms in general, because I understand that it's not the solution, but it is a solution that does work. It's worked for places like Australia, and I don't care if this isn't Australia. I know that banning weapons outright, at least firearms, has had a significant improvement on the death toll to firearms. Definitely that would be a thing. I'm sorry, Fifth Amendment people. Harmful drugs I would absolutely still remove from the system. Things like frickin' black tar heroin and stuff like that. Like, I'm sorry. If it's really, really bad for you, then I'm gonna criminalize it because I don't want citizens who don't know better hurting themselves. But yeah, I would definitely still be banning things that cause significant harm to people.
Yeah, like those Kinder Surprise eggs.
Probably go to the FDA and just absolutely wring the crap out of them and rewrite all their friggin' guidelines.
One thing I don't think I've heard you talk much about in your plan for a new world is the economy. How would everyone exchange goods and services in the new world? Will there be ways to prevent people from living in poverty and prevent others from becoming super wealthy off of lower income people?
Every bison dollar will be worth 5 British pounds. For that is the exchange rate the Bank of England will set once I've kidnapped their queen.
Would you have like a currency that is used all across?
Yeah, there would be basically a unified currency for the entire world, so everyone would be using one currency. And I would be taking quite a few pages out of the Book of Socialism by ensuring that corporations can no longer buy and sell politicians. Politicians are also not going to be a very big prevalent thing, but getting big corporations and big money out of politics, I think, is the first and foremost thing that needs to happen. And then two, ensuring that businesses aren't run for the sake of profit. Businesses are run for the sake of helping people or doing something or fitting a need that people have. If it's all just done to make a bunch of money, then you end up with things like the cow farms from McDonald's and like just dairy farming in general, chicken farming in general, like how insane it is. Like there's a whole section of the Midwest across the United States which is just abandoned towns and fields full of green grass that they could just as easily pump all their cows into to make their beef and everything free range, and it would be not that much more expensive. I was reading a thing about it a little while ago that was talking about how it would end up increasing the cost of your average steak by, I think, $3. And they're like, that's all it would cost to just completely remove this whole automated beef system that they have that just churns out bad meat all the time. And they're like, well, we don't want to do it though because we want to like make those extra couple of bucks. If we can fix the system so that it's not based around greed, then we create a system that is based around the betterment of society, the betterment of the whole as opposed to the betterment of the one. And that change in focus will, I think, benefit the human race tremendously. Ending aging, stopping death. Do you have any idea what that would do? Life would keep going. Growth, rampant growth, and animals without decay is cancer. One can only speculate what it would do to the human mind as well. I'm sure Hades has my back on this one. Oh, I'm sure Hades would be absolutely ticked to understand that I was no longer allowing people to die. Ha ha! Here's the thing though, like I've said in the last few videos, over 99% of deaths annually in Canada are from things like disease and accidents. Yeah. People don't die from old age anymore, and maybe it's because people get old and it makes them more prone for accidents, and then they just, label that person's death as an accident or as disease, when it was in fact a mixture of that and age. That being said, nobody knows what having like several centuries under your belt would do to the human mind. Nobody knows really if people getting crazy when they get older is a result of their neural state degenerating physically or because humans are only supposed to be alive for a certain amount of time. I like to think the former. Making people ageless isn't going to create a huge problem, I think. And we're going to have systems in control to control the population anyways, and this virus is only going to be transmittable to humans, so we don't have to worry about that. And I answered the mutation thing yesterday, so just before you ask. Plus, human beings have existed outside of the natural order for literally thousands of years. You can't play that card.
It's true.
You have defied me for the last time, puny flesh creature! Now, how would you defeat Spock, the Rock, Doc Ock, and Hulk Hogan? Jabroni! Well, it depends. If they were preceded by Gandalf the Grey, Gandalf the White, Monty Python's and the Holy Grail's Black Knight, Benicio Mussolini and the Blue Meanie, Cowboy Curtis and Zombie the Genie, Robocop the Terminator, Captain Kirk and Darth Vader, Lopan Superman, every single Power Ranger, Bill S. Preston, Theodore Logan, then I would say Mr. Rogers in a bloodstained sweater.
That's a good method to trust yourself as you go on. Can't seem to figure it out.
Like self-monitoring. Like, what is a good method to trust yourself? Surround yourself with people whose opinion you trust. One of the oldest lies your own brain will tell you is that you know you better than anyone else. And that's a lie. And I've talked about this a couple of times with friends, and that is, you think that because you've been with you since day one, and you know all the reasons behind every decision that you've made up to this point, that you know you better than anyone could possibly know you. And that's a lie. It sounds logical, and it sounds like it makes sense, and it's something that your brain will tell you in an attempt to do something, but it's not true. Your brain has a psychological object permanence of about a year. So, like, everything that you are right now is kind of a byproduct of roughly everything that's happened to you in the last year to 2 years. Everything that has happened before that has to be a really big thing to happen to you in order to affect the person that you are right now. So someone that has been spending a lot of time with you for the last year definitely knows you. One of the ways that I described it was, If a person comes along and sees a tree, a peach tree, we'll say in this example, because I love peaches, they see the tree for what it is. A large, tall, strong tree that produces fruit, right? But if you were the person who planted the tree, then you knew the tree as a seed, you knew it as a pile of dirt that might not grow, you knew it as a sapling that you had to protect from the wind and from the cold weather, you knew it as a small tree that bore no fruit until it was eventually a big, tall, strong tree. So your perception of what this tree is jaded, is clouded and damaged by all of the things that you've seen of that tree leading up to this moment. Whereas people that just see it now see it for what it is.
So hang out with honest people.
Yeah, so if you can't really figure out a method of trusting yourself as you go on, if you're having difficulty monitoring yourself and your actions and trusting your own guidance, find people whose guidance you trust. Human beings are social creatures. Our need for human interaction is not a glitch, it's a feature. Find people that you like, people you trust, and spend time with them. Hey Doc, have you ever been to California? If so, where? If not, where would you like to visit? I haven't been, but I'm told that San Diego is in California because I don't know American geography. And San Diego Comic-Con, excuse me, San Diego Comic-Con does look and sound to be a huge amount of fun, so I would be wicked crazy excited to check that out.
Hell yeah.
Is it good though? Have you
It's
been?
good. I've been twice, and it was amazing. It was the best convention I've ever been to, and I've been to many.
Dag, yo, do you think the new armor that we've been building is gonna would do well there? Would people like it?
Yes.
What's the caliber of cosplaying down there?
Oh my gosh.
Definitely like way up there, right?
And
Like let's say Anime North was like a 5 out of 10.
it was a solid 11.
Okay.
11 out of 10.
Woo! Alright, I gotta have to up my A game.
My question, where's Savage Bandito? We haven't seen him around in forever.
I don't know. I haven't seen him in forever. Not since the last few times that we've hung out and done silly crap together. He's around, I know, but not as active as he used to be. Semi-retired, from what I understand. And that is all the questions that we have for today. We did it. 19 questions today. Woo-wee! I almost elbowed you in the face.
That's why I went that way.
You're like, stodge! So thank you again, everybody, for coming out and asking awesome questions and being cool. If you have any more questions for this video, leave them in the comment section down below. And until next time, my brave citizens, I am Toronto's greatest supervillain and evil genius, Dr. Tara Watt. This is our Layer 3.0. This, oh my god, is Haspel.
Hi.
And I will see you tomorrow on our next episode of VEDA.
End of line!